Welcome back, everybody. You know what? Avengers Infinity War is coming up just a little over 2 weeks, so I figure it's about time to buckle down and do something phenomenal. Guys, every single day up until Avengers Infinity War, I'm going to be reviewing one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe films. Every single day, we're going to be going through Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, and guess what, guys? Avengers Infinity War will be here sooner than we know it. So, I figure, let's start this out. Let's talk about the one that started it all. Let's talk about the first Iron Man film, starring Robert Downey Jr., Jeff Bridges, Terrence Howard, and Gwyneth Paltrow. Guys, this is it's not just one of my all-time favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe films. It's one of my favorite superhero films in general, because it's not only an origin story, it's a personal story. It's a story about Tony Stark as a human being and his ultimate change from being somebody who doesn't really care about anything to somebody who cares about legitimately everything. Iron Man was released in 2008 and it took everybody by storm. Not a lot of people thought it was going to be good, but it blasted off and it was better than everybody was expecting. It made a ton of money at the box office. And the story of Iron Man is actually pretty simple. The story of Tony Stark, millionaire, playboy philanthropist who goes around not caring about a single thing, selling weapons, and then one day he gets attacked by terrorists, gets shut up in a cave, he escapes, and now he becomes Iron Man. I'm not going into too deep there, because if you haven't seen Iron Man by now, number one, that is very surprising. Number two, do yourself a favor and go check it out when you get the chance. It is great. And one of my favorite aspects about Iron Man is the fact that it really is the perfect origin story, and right off the bat, it gets you connected with the person you want to care about most, which is Tony Stark. Because right at the very beginning of the film, he's so arrogant and so amazingly clever and awesome that you immediately latch onto him. So then, when bad and horrible things happen to him, and you see kind of where his empire is ripped out from under him and being used against the American people, then you're on his side. You're like, yeah, build the Iron Man suit. Take out the terrorist and take out anybody who is in your way. And the way that they describe it, the way they go about explaining how he builds the Iron Man suit is fantastic. One of my favorite scenes in the film is when he is talking about which color to make the Iron Man suit. We know it's red and gold, but how did it become that? The contrast with every piece of dialogue and all the imagery in the film is great, because right off the top, there's a lot of contrast between Tony Stark's home in Malibu, California, where you see his giant mansion of a house that is on the side of a cliff with all of his fancy toys and the nice warm color. And then you head over to the Middle East, where war is happening, people are miserable, people are dying, and people are getting shot. And it just feels so cold and so filled with snow. This is one of the films that really, during the climate that we had when we were going after Al-Qaeda and all the stuff that was going on, this is a film that could be risky. But luckily, Jon Faverau, who also plays Happy Hogan in this film and all the other Iron Man films, he did such a great job directing this film to make it relatable to us common folk who aren't geniuses like Tony Stark. And he made this superhero movie grounded and one of the best simply out there. The way the script is written is pretty clever too. I mean, it's gotta have a great script if we're gonna have such a sarcastic character like Tony Stark. But I really want to know how many of the lines Robert Downey Jr. delivered were improvised, because he's that great of an actor. Not to mention that this really was a Phoenix personification for Robert Downey Jr. because Robert Downey Jr., he had a horrible past. He had some really bad stuff that happened to him. He did some really bad stuff. And then he comes back, he gets back from rehab, and his biggest career move was to play Iron Man, and the rest is history. Robert Downey Jr. is one of the biggest and one of the most paid actors out there, and he nails this role to the wall. He does such a great job, and he really makes the character of Iron Man his, kind of like Heath Ledger did with the Joker. I say this over and over again, but I have to emphasize it again. Iron Man is one of my all-time favorite superhero movies. It is one of my all-time favorite MCU movies, and I don't have a single negative with this movie. And guys, Iron Man is suit worthy. Alright everybody, and that is my review of Iron Man. I can't wait to get started on with this journey. Avengers Infinity War is so close. We can all taste it. I hope you all got your tickets because this is going to be an opening night to remember. Nobody is ever going to forget this, and I can't wait. The journey, the arrival is going to be extremely exciting, but I might be even more excited for the journey leading up to it because this next couple of weeks, it's going to be insane. And guys, remember, stay tuned for tomorrow because I'll be moving on to the next film in the MCU, which is The Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton. But as always, guys, it is what you say that matters. So I've had a chance to see Iron Man, and what did you think of it? More importantly, what is your favorite superhero of all time? Doesn't matter what it is, as long as you leave it in the comment section down below so we can get a conversation started. And if you've enjoyed what you've seen here, and you want to see more, click right there and subscribe and become part of the fray of nerds who love cinema. You all have a fantastic day.